Good morning, how are you doing today? I really hope you're about to have an awesome day, and I'm pleased that you're going to start it with one of my videos. So today is going to be day 3 of Alec from Norway's 4-day blacksmithing class. We've had a huge amount of fun over the past 2 days. I've really enjoyed it. He's been learning a lot, he's been enjoying himself too, so I hope you enjoy the forging goodness that happens on today's episode. Good morning, how you doing? Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I found it quite exciting to juxtapose yesterday's video in the sense that everything in this was slow motion, but give it the pace of yesterday's video at the same time. Hope you enjoyed it. It's such an exciting thing to undertake this creative endeavor every day in the form of this daily vlog. So, as I promised yesterday, I'm gonna be answering some questions. First up, Jason Rose says that I have a lot of Texas items. That is correct. I have Texas flags, I have a Texas hat, Texas boots on my feet in fact, and Texas jeans on my legs. So yes, lots of Texas things. And he asks why that might be the case. Why is that the case? Because Texas rocks. Because the people in Texas are freaking awesome. I have some great friends in Texas. I really enjoyed my time in Texas, and I really appreciate the values that a lot of Texans also appreciate. I appreciate the ethos of hard work. I appreciate the values and principles of freedom and liberty. I think that these are principles and values that a lot of Texans hold, and I appreciate that. We Vikings! Firstly, I always love the fact that you're always commenting on my videos, dude. Really appreciate that. He asks if I've ever used a JHM anvil. I believe that's a farrier's anvil. I've never used one, and I'm not super hyped up about different types of anvils, so I'm not familiar with how good they are. They're probably good. You know, if they're being produced and if farriers are using them as their competitor anvils, I presume they're a good anvil, hard faces, clean edges. So a JHM anvil, probably a good bet. RC, sadly and tragically, has issues being able to stand up for long periods of time, but he's wanting to get into blacksmithing, which is awesome that he wants to get into blacksmithing, but terrible that he can't stand up for long periods of time. He's wanting to know if I have any advice as to how he might be able to mount his anvil to suit forging while sitting down. Naturally, it's not something I'm very familiar with. I don't have experience in what would be the best way, and I also don't have the knowledge to know how it's going to avoid hurting your back at different heights. What I could say is if I had to forge, my recommendation of where would be the best if you're sitting down is probably going to be 2 or 3 inches above the height of your legs, so that your hand has the distance to turn over, and so your handle doesn't catch your legs. 2 or 3 inches above the legs would probably be a pretty comfortable height for forging while sitting down. Stuart Hopkins asks if I've got any tips for creating a hardy hole in a railroad track anvil. In fact, I do, and the tip would go as follows. It would be to contact a local steel flame cutting service and have them cut you a 1-inch hardy hole in a piece of plate and to mount that in a piece of wood. Alternatively, go and contact a local fabrication company. Have them plasma cut out a 1-inch hole in a piece of 1-inch plate, perhaps. Alternatively, take yourself a piece of 1-inch plate, or maybe even just 5/8 inch plate, drill yourselves a 3/4 inch hole, or a 7/8 inch hole, and hot drift a 1-inch square hole. That's going to be the easiest bet. Save dicking around with a railroad track. Jeffrey Biddix asks, what type of tongs do I use for making hammers? These are Brian Brazil style hammer making tongs. The design for these was hugely and very heavily inspired and motivated by the design of Haberman tongs that Brian was exposed to when he visited Halford Haberman back in the early 2000s and saw the Haberman tongs working, adapted them, made them work for every process in the hammer making process. They're a great pair of tongs to use, a great pair of tongs to make. Mark Steves asked where his hammer is, and then he's holding it, so I don't know why you'd ask that question, Mark. I mean, like, thanks for purchasing the hammer, Mark. Really appreciate it. And last but not least, Chris Rowan asks whether I survive and live off Monster energy drinks and coffee. The answer really is no. I have a coffee or 2 a day. I'm not really, you know, when I need to like perk up in the mornings, because I'm not a morning person by any stretch of the imagination. Where does my energy and stamina and endurance come from to be able to work so damn much? It comes from like the huge goals I have and the dedication to meeting and reaching and exceeding those goals in the future, and it comes from the passion and excitement I get from hitting hot steel and seeing it move, and it comes from the thrill I get from reading your wonderful comments and seeing the impact that I can have in helping inspire others to pursue the craft of blacksmithing in their own time. And like, yeah, that gives you a lot of energy. It gives you a lot of energy. I should also say that the process of work gives me energy. By working, and seeing results and seeing success, it makes me so thrilled and so happy to start the next day, and gives me the energy I need to edit these vlogs and put out this wonderful content and do a day's teaching in the meantime. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I haven't rambled on too long. In fact, I don't care if I have rambled on too long, because it has been important for me to ramble on, and I've very much enjoyed the process. Have a lovely, lovely day. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. The sharing is most important. Really, really is. Let's get this to as many people as possible. Blacksmithing's a wonderful thing. It's a lot of fun. Let's share it with the world. Let's comment. I would like you to comment below which pieces of equipment and which tools in my workshop at some point you would like me to do a walk around video of and explain how I use them, what I like about it, what I dislike. Go ahead and comment that. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Bye-bye.